and the one just stayed there. And I said, we can't stay here all night. I've had enough of this cat and mouse game. I said, I'm going home.
Yeah.
You know, enough is enough.
Good idea.
And I came home, checked on my daughter right away. She was sound asleep, and went and sat at the kitchen table, and I said, you know, we've got to figure this out. I said, there's got to be a reasonable, logical explanation. This you know, totally scientific or whatever.
Yeah,
I mean, this can't be. We decided, both of us decided we were too tired and feeling kind of sick to discuss it, so we just went to bed.
Right.
I was the first one to get up in the morning. I got up, made myself some tea or coffee, sat down at the table. I was feeling like throwing up. I had noticed a huge, large, circular kind of bluey, purpley mark on my left breast, on the side of my chest, and I also had a bruise like that on the bottom right foot, on the flat part. So whatever I did, it looked like I had been fighting somebody.
Gotcha, okay.
So I felt like throwing up. I was very dehydrated, felt a little disorientated. She got up a couple of minutes later, and as she's walking down the hall towards me, she just entered the kitchen, and she said, I really don't feel well this morning. And I said, well, it's a good thing you're going home. You know, you can go see your doctor. Maybe you're coming down with the flu. Well, that was it. At that moment, her right nostril didn't start just dripping. I mean, it was almost gushing out blood. My daughter, meanwhile, gets up and says, oh, Mommy, she says, I really don't feel good this morning. She says, I don't know, maybe I got a cold or something starting, because she says, my nose, feels kind of stuffed up and stuff. Well, if I know this is going to sound crazy, but her right nostril starts bleeding the same way that my girlfriend's nose just finished doing. Then my girlfriend came out of the bathroom a few minutes later, and she said, my nose has stopped bleeding now. That's better. But she says, wow, she says, I sure have some really bad pain down my lower back, quite low. She says, so it's kind of embarrassing to me, but I need you to check to see what's there. And, of course, as soon as I saw the mark, I knew what it was, because I'd had marks like that before in my life, except mine were a perfect triangular shape. Hers was a perfect round circle, and it was at the very bottom of her spine on her back. There was literally a radiation-type burn. Yes, as soon as she got back to the Fraser Valley, she went to see her doctor, and her doctor did use those exact words. He said, if I didn't know any better, I would say that you have yourself a radiation burn. But that's silly. How could that be? And, well, of course, she didn't say anything.
So there we go. We got some more evidence. You also had, I believe your son had a hole in his, basically in his down spine.
That's another incident.
I know.
The poor guy when he was 9 years old. Yes.
And that wasn't little. I mean, you probably stick your pinky finger in there, I think.
Yes, I could. That was very frightening, terrifying for him.
Oh, gosh.
At different times in his life. When he was 9 and we lived in the Fraser Valley, we had a huge sighting of a boomerang-shaped ship one night. And it was around that time that my son woke up screaming, and I woke up in the morning with his screaming. It's that kind of like that blood-curdling scream that a child has, and oh my God, something's really wrong.
Yes.
And when I got to his room, his back was arched, and he was just, trying to breathe because he was in so much pain. He had a hard time breathing. And, of course, I tried to settle him down, and he was able, between the gasps, to say, my back, my back. And I turned him around, and I'm telling you, it took everything inside of me as a mother to not lose it. It was horrible.
I can imagine.
I mean, he literally had a hole in his spine, just beside his spine. And, I mean, what really got me is I could see the inside, but it wasn't bleeding. There wasn't 1 ounce of blood on his sheets, not anywhere on his body. There was nothing.